Catherine and Michael enter a room that is completely white, and they are filled with wonder. Catherine spots a red button and suggests to her boyfriend, Michael, that he should press it. Michael, filled with excitement, presses the button and immediately hears a voice announcing that they have been selected to spend 50 days in this pristine room. They will win $5 million if they stay for the entire duration. However, if one of them leaves, the remaining person will only receive $1 million. Upon hearing this, the couple starts to run around the room with joy. They even lie down on the floor, pondering if this is all just a dream. Michael comments that they are just fortunate and should be grateful. Catherine then proposes that if they win, they should divide the money equally. She asks Michael what he would do with his share. He excitedly talks about not worrying about money anymore, creating true art, traveling in a rocket ship into space, and doing it all twice over. Shortly after, Michael notices the all-white design of the room. When they go to the bathroom, the voice informs them that only one person can use it at a time. While Catherine stays inside, Michael reads the rules on a screen. He presses a button for a food treat, which dispenses something resembling a milk box. He tries it and remarks that it's not as good as Shake Shack. Catherine smiles, hoping breakfast will be better. While Michael explores the room, Catherine adjusts settings on the screen, setting the automatic lights to turn off at 10 p.m. and the wake-up alarm for 7 a.m. She asks Michael if the timing is all right with him, to which he responds that she can set it to any time she likes, as he feels like he's on vacation and might never leave the bed. The lights go off as the voice announces that it's evening. Before they go to sleep, Michael attempts to be playful with his girlfriend, but she is hesitant, concerned that Professor Voyan might be watching. She suggests they be discreet and stay under the covers. The following morning, as Catherine looks in the mirror, she speaks positive affirmations to herself for encouragement. After her shower, she finds Michael already awake. In a playful mood, Michael jokingly removes her towel, leading to a shared moment of laughter. Catherine then begins her breakfast, and Michael remarks that their attire makes them look like they might have mental health issues. Catherine, with a hint of concern, inquires why Professor Voyan would orchestrate such a scenario. Michael asks if she had seen the link he sent about a documentary made by Professor Voyan. He explains how Voyan, after investing $150 million, observed an American family he made famous, akin to celebrities. Initially, the family enjoyed success with contracts, TV shows, and commercials. However, it ended tragically when the mother, upon discovering her husband's infidelity, committed murder, leading to her imprisonment. Their son vanished, and their daughter fatally overdosed. Catherine questions the motive behind Professor Voyan's experiment. Michael replies that Voyan's intentions are unclear, but it's well known that he is extremely wealthy. He recalls an interview from 30 years ago where Voyan expressed his fascination with the human psyche. As Michael reflects on this, he glances at the clock counting down their days in the Immaculate room. Suddenly, the room brightens as a voice announces midday. Meanwhile, Catherine finds solace in meditation as a means to cope with the situation. Later in the day, Michael shares his dislike for the color white, describing it as the absence of color. Michael grows increasingly frustrated with the clock in the room, especially after noticing it briefly moving backwards before resuming its normal pace. Catherine advises him not to focus on the clock, but he can't help expressing his doubts about whether they can really track 50 days accurately with just the clock as their guide. Catherine thinks it's too soon for such conspiracy theories on just the second day. Despite her attempts to calm him, Michael starts to find fault with everything around them, even noting how the artificial light is designed to mimic natural light. As he discusses this, the lights suddenly turn off, signaling bedtime. Catherine reminds him of the significant reward at stake, but while she falls asleep quickly, Michael stays awake, lost in thought. In the mornings, Catherine keeps up her routine, using affirmations to strengthen her resolve. When she leaves the bathroom, she finds Michael looking bewildered. She tries to encourage him, suggesting a shower might help. To combat their growing anxiety and boredom, they start engaging in various activities like jogging, playing games, dancing, and Catherine continues her meditation. Michael, however, often ends up running and fixating on the clock, which doesn't help their mental state. As time passes, their sanity begins to wane. One quiet day, Michael spots a bug on the floor and starts talking to it, calling it Chloe. He becomes fixated on the idea of there being nothing in the room to interest the bug. In an attempt to care for it, he goes to get some of their food, but a voice reminds them that the food is only for the contestants. Frustrated, Michael argues with the voice, insisting he just wants to help the bug get out. Catherine cautions him against pressing the door button, fearing it could be interpreted as them forfeiting the game. Despite this, Michael loudly declares his intention to help the bug, emphasizing its right to live. The voice reminds him that if one of them leaves, the prize money will drop to $1 million. Catherine dismisses Michael's concern for the bug, suggesting he's overreacting, and accuses him of lacking empathy towards others. She speculates that his veganism is merely a rebellious act against his wealthy father, rather than genuine compassion. She points out that Michael's privileged upbringing means he hasn't truly experienced hardship, undermining his claim to being authentically artistic. As this heated exchange unfolds, Catherine accidentally steps on the bug, killing it. She expresses shock and regret, but Michael, upset, walks away without responding. Later, Michael decides to indulge in a treat, despite Catherine's reminder that it will cost him $100,000 from his share of the prize money. He receives a green crayon and begins to create art on the wall, deeply engrossed in his thoughts. Catherine, seeking to connect, asks him to draw her portrait. However, when Michael expresses his preference for a more abstract style, Catherine feels ignored and walks away in frustration. Michael continues drawing until the crayon is completely used up. Afterwards, he cleans his hands, carelessly leaving a towel stained with crayon and residue on the sink. Catherine, upon cleaning up, sits beside Michael and apologizes for her earlier behavior. She tries to lift their spirits by pointing out that only 20 days are left in the challenge. The situation takes a surprising turn when Catherine discovers a gun in the bathroom. Shocked, she calls Michael to investigate. He is hesitant, fearing the gun might be loaded. Catherine suggests disposing of it through the laundry chute, but they are quickly reminded by the voice that the chute is strictly for laundry. Michael hastily hides the gun under the bed when a voice announces the start of Connect, a feature allowing communication with family members. He informs Catherine that they might receive messages from loved ones. Michael gets a video message from his sister, initially bringing joy to his face. However, his mood quickly changes when she questions if he entered the Immaculate room to escape Catherine, suggesting that leaving her was a wise decision. She also urges him to move past what happened to someone named Sean. Right after Michael's message, Catherine is shocked to see a video of her father. She desperately wants the video to stop, not wanting to watch it, but it continues. Her father, claiming to have been off the streets for a year and living at St. Mary's Shelter, asks to meet her. Catherine, overwhelmed and distressed, pushes Michael away as she retreats to a corner, breaking down in tears while her father sings a childhood song. The next day, Michael finds Catherine unable to leave the bed. She confesses that the man in the video was her father, revealing she had lied about him out of shame. Her father's alcoholism led to the loss of their house and her school fees, causing her immense pain. With nothing else to occupy his mind, Michael starts to unravel, obsessively reading the wash tag on his shirt. Eventually, he joins Catherine in bed as the lights go off, signaling night. He spends the night awake, fixated on the clock, contemplating their future. In the morning, Michael wakes up on the floor and encourages Catherine to indulge in a treat, arguing that it might help her cope with the remaining 18 days. He's concerned about her mental state, but Catherine insists she's fine and will stick to her routine. Later, Michael is found lying on the floor, surrounded by scattered food. Catherine urges him to take another treat. Surprisingly, a nude woman named Simone enters, leaving Michael bewildered. When Catherine appears, Simone greets her too. Confused, Simone asks about the room, prompting Michael to explain the concept of the Immaculate room. Catherine is skeptical of Simone's claim of ignorance, but Simone reveals she's an actress hired for a month by her manager. Catherine suggests Michael lend his shirt to Simone, which he promptly does. Simone, exploring the room, comments that it reminds her of a dance studio she used to frequent. Catherine is visibly displeased with the situation, while Michael insists he's equally perplexed. Simone admires Michael's wall art, recognizing his artistic style. Catherine, concerned about the new dynamics, discusses with Michael how to handle having an unexpected guest. As they talk, the lights abruptly turn off, a nightly routine in the room. Michael explains this to Simone. With no extra bed, he offers Simone to share the bed with Catherine, while he sleeps on the floor. Initially hesitant, Simone declines, opting to stay awake all night. Catherine, however, insists there's enough space for all of them, and Simone eventually accepts. The next morning, Catherine wakes up to find Simone missing, feeling a sense of relief. However, she soon discovers Simone in the bathroom, fresh from a shower. Deciding to take a treat herself, Catherine receives a small bottle of Cloud9 pills. Both she and Simone take a pill, but Catherine advises Michael not to join them. Simone encourages everyone to partake in the pill, leading Michael to also consume one. Shortly after, they all start feeling the effects, enjoying themselves until Michael suddenly falls onto the bed, observing from a distance as the others dance. He experiences a hallucination where he sees blood everywhere, and it seems to surround him. In his altered state, he imagines falling into water, struggling to reach his brother Sean, who appears to jump into the pool. Catherine and Simone urgently wake him from this nightmare. Distraught, Michael tries to exit the room, but Catherine blocks him, reminding him of the significant prize money at stake. Michael, still shaken, lies back down, apologizing to Sean in his mind, while Catherine tries to soothe him. Later, Simone inquires about Sean, and Catherine reveals that Sean was Michael's younger brother who tragically drowned while Michael, impaired at the time, was unable to save him. That evening, as Michael attempts to regain his composure by washing his face, Simone invites him for a chat. Michael begins to share his story, but Simone discloses that Catherine already informed her about Sean. The conversation shifts as Simone shares her own sorrow about losing her mother in a car accident when she was 12. Michael is moved to tears, realizing that love is a crucial solace in grief. While they talk, Catherine, feeling jealous, interrupts them, accusing Simone of trying to seduce Michael and calling her derogatory names. Simone retorts, labeling Catherine as insecure, leading to a heated argument that causes Michael to leave the scene. After he departs, Catherine begins to doubt her suspicions, but Simone ambiguously hints that there might be more to their interaction. The following day, Catherine knocks on the bathroom door, seeking Simone, but receives no response. Catherine, curious about Simone's silence, opens the bathroom door and finds that Simone has left. She feels regretful and informs Michael about Simone's departure. They then notice something written on the wall, implying that Michael had been intimate with Simone while Catherine was asleep. Michael is confused and denies any such incident. However, Catherine, fueled by suspicion and noting Simone's resemblance to Michael's ex-girlfriend, becomes infuriated and pushes him, accidentally causing him to hit his head and start bleeding. Rushing to his aid, Catherine asserts it was an unintentional act, but Michael, hurt and upset, questions her trust in him. He reminds her of the sacrifices he made for her happiness and comfort, including distancing himself from his wealthy friends and not pursuing art school. Despite these efforts, he feels repaid with distrust and jealousy. Overwhelmed, Michael collapses, feeling the need to leave the room. Catherine pleads with him to wait, quickly grabbing a towel and their food supplies to attend to his injury. She applies the towel to his head and urges him to drink, but Michael insists he needs medical attention, which they don't have access to per their contract. As he leans weakly against the wall, he expresses his belief that Catherine values the prize money over his well-being, which she denies. Michael then confronts her, asking if she would leave the room with him, but she remains adamant about staying. Feeling disillusioned, Michael heads towards the red button, arguing that the room is a moral and spiritual test they are failing. Catherine continues to insist on staying, but Michael is determined to leave, with or without her. As he approaches the button, Catherine desperately calls out for him to stop. Michael turns to see Catherine pointing a gun at him, trembling and insisting he can't leave. She argues it's irrational to forfeit millions of dollars. Yet, Michael calmly responds that the room is affecting her judgment. Ignoring Catherine's warning shot, he walks resolutely towards the red button, presses it and steps out to freedom. A voice acknowledges his departure, announcing the prize money is now reduced to $1 million. Catherine is left in despair, collapsing to the floor. Time passes, and Catherine remains in the room, overwhelmed with emotions, crying, yelling, and fixating on the walls. As the contest nears its end, she hesitantly moves towards the red button, contemplating her next move. Meanwhile, Michael finds himself running in the streets and unexpectedly encounters Catherine outside the St. Mary's building. Their meeting is awkward, filled with apologies for their past actions. Catherine reveals she was visiting her father. As Michael approaches her car, he inquires if she won the contest, but she evades the question, asking about his life instead. Nearby, a plaque honors an anonymous donation that has kept the new St. Mary's kitchen operational. In a new twist, another couple, Sandy Williams and Jason Wright, arrive at the Immaculate room, bubbling with anticipation and hope of winning the prize.